global happenings today. We communicate, we analyze global news. Stay tuned.
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to Global Happiness today. The internet went agog when the policy review by the United Kingdom was made public. A lot of interpretations was given to it. Alo Ejima, the special counsel to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, of course, decided to clarify the matter. But on a better note, of course, the presidency decided to not only congratulate but decided to give more information on what the UK, the British government, should do not only to Biafrans, to IPOB, and to those sponsoring them. Of course, early hours of the day, the United Kingdom decided to clarify the situation. But in a moment, you're going to find out what the presidency is telling United Kingdom to do to IPOB members and the fate of IPOB members. I really don't know exactly what will now happen now that the United Kingdom have decided to clarify the matter. But before we go to the newspaper, like you subscribe to our channel by clicking on the red subscribe button. Beside it, you will see a bell notification icon. Please go ahead, click on it to get notified as soon as you update our channel on YouTube. Now, this is the standpoint of the government of Nigeria. Well, the presidency has hailed the decision by the United Kingdom to proscribe the indigenous people of Biafra IPOB as a terrorist group. The presidency, in a statement signed by Senior Special Assistant on Media and Publicity Govt yesterday, said the violent secessionist organization had long been proscribed as such in Nigeria, where it carries out the majority of its activities, murderous ones. The statement added, and I quote, "It has taken our allies in the United Kingdom so long to follow suit owing to two reasons. First, the deep pocket of IPOB's international network of funders that allow for lawyers and influence peddlers to aggressively lobby for and whitewash the activities of their clients in Western courts. And secondly, IPOB's influential communication network of TV and radio stations, including London-based Radio Biafra, employed with great effect to spread misinformation abroad and incite violence at home." The next steps are clear. Now that IPOB has rightly been designated as a terrorist group, the UK authorities should, in our view, they are saying that UK authorities should, in their view, follow up with confiscation of their assets, shut down their communication channels, and sanction the issuance of visas to IPOB's funders in Nigeria. Such sanctions have played a critical role in combating other terror groups, and make no mistake, today Africa is a breeding ground for it, with local and international groups alike gaining strength across the continent, thriving on economic devastation of the pandemic. Nigerians' intelligence and security forces are the first lines of defense against such groups, including ISIS and Al-Qaeda-affiliated Boko Haram. We rely on our allies in the West for their support. Now, I said IPOB's and its 50,000 strong paramilitary unit reign of issues has seen villages brought down, school buses set alight, and politicians' homes brought down. Through the international network of radio and TV stations, they threaten further violence if their demands are not met, while inciting violence and religious and ethnic tension between Nigerians and the Nigerian Christians and Muslim populations. Their mouthpieces and their wallets are their most effective tools. It is this asset Nigerians ally must target next, and there is no time for complacency. We thank the United Kingdom, UK, for its decisive action and call on our friends in the United States to at last heed our calls and follow suit in designating this group as a terror group, as what it is across Africa. Increasingly, what were once small localized groups are growing in size and influence and becoming connected to global networks of terror. The free and democratic world must act now to stomp them out before any more misery is caused. Now, this may come as a rude shock to the presidency, having found out now that the United Kingdom has clarified. Oh my God. Oh my God. At the beginning, it was reviewed, there was a review policy. All right, they revealed it, and if you take step by step, you will understand what Aloy Ejima, the special counsel to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, was trying to figure out. And there was some misinterpretation and misinterpretation of those policies, and hence it was escalated. And that's the misinterpretation that the senior special assistant to media and publicity Shehu Gaba mistook or understood and decided to encourage the United Kingdom and the US, United UK and the US to go ahead, not just stopping by, you know, prescribing as it were, but also confiscate, make sure that those who are funding IPOB, the assets are seized and all that. And I can imagine the shock it will be only for UK to say that's not what we meant. No, it's far from it. We did not designate them as a terror group. In fact, we are way, way miles from it. What we only said is case by case, we only recognize the fact that you, as a government of Nigeria, have prescribed them. But in our country, we don't see them on in that light. We are recognizing your sovereignty as a nation over this group and recognize them as such for you. But for us in the United Kingdom, we have a different view entirely. But if for any reason they will seek asylum, we'll have to look at it on case by case level to ascertain if they have been involved, as you have claimed, in any violent moves or any contrary move, thereby knowing our stand whether to give them an asylum or not. So because you've said what you said, okay, we could be reviewing them case by case, individual by individual, to be sure that we don't have a general outlook here. So it's way from it. There's no way this group that have registered Radio Biafra in UK, and they registered the organization in the United Kingdom, and they have a lot of offices. They have their offices there. Their members are strongly connected in the United Kingdom. Nowhere would they now wake up and say, okay, now that we recognize the fact that you recognize them as prescribable, but in our case, we don't see them in that light. They will not follow that advice that the next step should be confiscate, seize their assets and all that. It's not going to work because they have not even recognized them as such. Okay, so it's a bit complicated now. I'm sure IPOB members now have an idea of exactly where the government they would have loved them to be, being the fact that they're gaining international prominence. Of course, don't forget that they also have network with the United States via the person of Bruce Fein, who's an international lawyer par excellence. So, hey, and he's now carrying the matter everywhere, taking it to ICC and all that. That's to tell you that that's taking a dimension, international dimension, a bit different from the localized one that everyone is used to. I guess that's another win for IPOB, knowing fully well that UK have decided to clarify the matter even before the government of the day got to hear of this. That's so good to wrap it up. Let's meet in our conversation. What's the take?